Hello and welcome to the B60 Top 4 show. Today we have Sam and Manny on the show. And I'll start with you, Manny. And what do you think of the Chelsea game?
Bro, it was stress, bro. I can't lie. Now, obviously, we got the 3 points, which is obviously a place like Nottingham Forest, and not been in the best form recently, but it is a tough place to go nonetheless. So to get in, get the 3 points, get out, I'm quite happy. Just in terms of the game overall, we probably should have went in the first half. I don't know if you guys watched it, but bro, they had at least two or three chances in that first half where. Do you know what I mean? If the players were on form, we could have easily gone in at least two or three down. Um, we're just making stupid mistakes at the back, like Chalobah giving the ball away, Achimpong giving the ball away, Lavia just poor mistakes at the back. But I feel like we kind of sorted it out. Second half, we came out with a different kind of mentality. Um, got the early goal from Achimpong, great header. And then from there, yeah, just kind of plain sailing. Got the second goal with Neto, and then Reece finished it off for us. So yeah, at the end of the day, it's a good away performance in the second half. But yeah, a bit. We need to start a lot better in games, or else against better opposition, we definitely would have gone in at least two or three down, 100%.
Yeah, no, I agree. I think you kind of struggled in the first half, but obviously, you came out second half, got those two quick goals, and I think you were pretty settled after that. I know,
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Thinking, what is it like? I think we're let me check. I think we're sixth in the table now. Um, 5 points off Arsenal, top of the league. Obviously, we'll come on to you, man, in a sec. But yeah, man, it's looking good. I mean, especially after some of the performances we've had this season, performance against Brighton, United. Um, it's nice to, I mean, bar the first half, it's nice to see us kind of, do you know what I mean, starting to like click a bit. Just hopefully we can put it together for a full performance like we did against Liverpool. So yeah, man.
yeah, it's crazy. I think from second to ninth, there's 2 points in it from Liverpool all the way down to United. I think United are only
Yeah,
6 points off us, to be fair. It's a bit crazy to say considering the way they've been recently. But yeah, it's kind of
yeah.
tight that top half of the table. But yeah, Sam, I'll move on to the Arsenal game. Obviously 1-0 win against Fulham, typical 1-0 to the Arsenal kind of victory. Set piece FC again. But what do you think of the game?
Yeah, we got the job done. I mean, I guess that's the main thing, that's the important thing. Especially how, when you see Liverpool dropping points and even City as well. I thought it wasn't the most convincing win, in terms of chance creating. I mean, there was a bit of chance created for Gyökeres. Um, to be fair, with Gyökeres, I'm happy that he's getting those shots in, he's making those movements. We just need to find them more. In the game, like I said, it wasn't that convincing. I mean, defensively, obviously we're solid. That's a given, but I feel like with Arsenal, yeah, I'm just wondering how long can we keep getting away with relying with our defense. I think at some point we need to start creating clear cut chances and being dominant, especially creating chances for Gyökeres as well. So overall, I mean, it's Fulham. I mean, the last two away games against Fulham, we've lost. Well, we drew last game, and then the one before we lost. So to go to those kind of grounds and get the win, keep the clean sheet, well considers 3 goals in 8 Premier League games. That's really good. So we just got to kick on. I think we missed Odegaard as well because I feel like Eze wasn't really that effective in the game. I think he got subbed off into yeah, set piece again. Yeah, I mean, it keeps bailing us out, but just gotta think how long can we keep doing this? But yeah, but overall, you just gotta take the positive out of it, I guess.
Yeah, I think I agree. I think the way we're playing, I think we can kind of get away with it against some of the weaker sides. But I think in those big games, you do need to create more. 'Cause, yeah,
But then again, against City though, we had them on the ropes as well. So it might just be after the international break, we're just getting into the wings of things. So Maybe yeah, maybe during the season they'll kick on, but I'm just worried about in terms of like the creative aspect of it. Odegaard's missing. We've got those smaller teams that sometimes harder to break down, and without Odegaard, I'm just a bit wary in terms of us putting runs together, creating chances, and hopefully we'll just have to see in it. I guess Ezek could do the job, hopefully, and we've got Ethan as well.
Yeah, I agree because I think we keep possession really well, but like even that City game is a good example where we dominated the ball. I think we had like 68% possession against City, which not many teams do, but realistically, we didn't create too much. It was only right at the end when we got that Martinelli chance.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think it's a bit worrying because for the amount of ball pushing we have, we should probably create a bit more. The frustrating thing with Odegaard's injury as well is like he was looking like he was getting back to his best before he got injured. I know he's had a bit of a start to season, but he put a really good performance in the Champions League before he got injured. So yeah, it's worrying. I suppose at least we've got to have to maybe back some of the young guns if I think Eze in the 10 I think gives us that bit of cover, but hopefully
And
like
you,
1 year in Darwin will get a bit more time.
yeah, but
Especially
Ethan, this is I feel like this is his moment to shine, like, because he's back up to Odegaard on that right side. So
Mm.
Odegaard's out. Give him a run, get his confidence up because we're gonna need him, like, and it's an opportunity for him to play more games.
Yeah, and I think it's surprising because like when Saka got injured last year, 1 year he came and did really well on the right. I know it's a slightly different position. But yeah, I think the kid's clearly good enough. The same with Darwin as well. I mean, like I think even in the Champions League games, I think some of them have been like 2-0 up cruising. I'd expect to bring him on. He would have been the youngest player to play in the Champions League, to be fair.
Darman,
Yeah, Darwin, yeah, he would have the youngest ever player. But
top player, is top. He's at the moment, obviously he's still 15. I feel like physically, obviously he's not going to be there physically, is it? But in terms of skill set, he's just yeah, he's unreal. Yeah.
yeah, and I think Gyökeres as well. I think he's playing well. I think it's just the goals that need to come.
Mm.
I don't know if he's a bit shy on confidence. There was one chance he got played through, and he's like he lifted his effort too high. I think maybe in a bit of a bobble or whatever before he struck it. But I think like if that's I know it's obviously Premier League's different, but he did the hard part. Like he was second favorite to win that ball. He bullied defender, got into that position, but I don't know. I think last season those kind of the strikes are going in the roof of the net, or he's hitting side nettings at Porting, at Sporting. Like his finishing was top. So hopefully, just one goes in. I think it hopefully will lead to a flow of goals for him.
That's true. Yeah, I feel like with Gyökeres, it's just he needs to can't keep calm a bit. Like obviously he's improved a lot. Like his link up play is getting a lot better. So he's doing those things.
Mm.
It's just the goal score. I feel like if he just gets a goal, like a clean goal, and then hopefully that could just he could just kick on from that. And because he's got a lot of potential to score a lot of goals. Like he's making a lot of the runs. Just need to find them and build up his confidence.
Yeah, and I think as well, I don't think we're quite utilizing him the best as well. Like he's doing a really good job leading the line. Like he's a bit of a battering ram, isn't he? Like he occupies two defenders, so I think it's freed up a lot of space for like Saka and
Mm.
Trossard on the other side. But yeah, I think we need to be a little bit more direct and feed in the ball early because I think if you look at a lot of his goals at Sporting, they're in transition or when he's been able to pick the ball up and run at the defense, and I don't think we get the ball in quick enough to him so he can do that. We'll have to see. I think defensively, yeah, we can't rely on it, but defensively we've been quality. I think the last two games, I haven't even conceded a shot on target. So I think, yeah, there's 3 goals in all comps as well. It's not even just the league. I think there's 3 in the Premier conceded. We haven't conceded in
That's true.
any other
Do
comp.
you do you worry a bit? I mean, Timber, yeah, top quality player defensively, and then obviously he does those little like intricacy play, like he's very good on the ball. You know how Ben White used to bomb up and overlap and put crosses in. Do you worry that Timber and even Calafiori doesn't they don't really do that as much?
No, but that's the thing. I think Calafiori adds a lot going forward, though.
Mm.
He will venture forward. Like I think, other than I think he's got a second most shots in the Prem out of any player, Calafiori has. Yeah, so like
Oh,
he does get forward, like he will bomb forward. Like even I suppose he had that goal disallowed, didn't he? It was quite a strike to be fair against Fulham. But yeah, I think. I think the focus is more on him getting forward than it is on the right. I agree with what you're saying. I know Ben White used to overlap on Saka a lot, and when Saka used to get double teamed and freed him up. But I think this season, because Gyökeres is kind of occupying both the centre backs, I think it gives Saka that bit more space where he is one on one with the fullback rather than being doubled up. So
Yeah,
I don't know. I'm not too worried about it because I think like Timber one on one, he'll lock most wingers up. He's equality, so I think he brings
yeah.
so much defensively. And then even then, like I don't think he's too bad going forward. Like he will venture forward every now and again. Um, he may not be like whipping crosses in like your traditional attacking fullbacks, but I think he puts the odd decent ball in every now and again. So no, I don't know, I'm not too worried about him. I think the onus is more on Calafiori. I think to get forward, and I think hopefully that'll bring the best out of Martinelli and Trossard because I think they both showed glimpses of getting back to their best this season. Because I think last season, I think we didn't really give Trossard or Martinelli much support on the left hand side, which I think is why they struggled. But yeah, I'll move on to another big game this weekend. Obviously, it's United Liverpool at Anfield. It's quite a big win for United, 2-1. That's Liverpool's fourth straight loss on the bounce in all comps, three in the league. Do you reckon it's a bit of a blip, or do you reckon that there's deeper issues at Liverpool?
You remember when I came in, that was 2 weeks ago, and I said, I think Arsenal are favourite. I'm not worried about. I'm worried about Liverpool, but I'm not as worried about Liverpool as most people were thinking because those games that they're playing, there was getting lucky, there was scoring. They didn't play that well. Usually, if you get a last minute goal and you've got the performance to show it, then you can go, yeah, that's a real title challenging side. They nearly drop points and then they find a way to win. But those games, they went so convincing, and obviously against Palace, against Chelsea as well, and then the United game, like they weren't as good. But to be fair, but they were unlucky though because they hit the post 2 times. Um, I felt like they pinged United back, and they just got hit with on the counter attack. Liverpool attacking wise, yeah, they're literally as best. They're probably one of the best, well, probably the best in the Premier League. Defensively though, yeah, I think that's the main issue. For me, when they didn't sign Gay at the end of the transfer window, I thought that was a turning point because I don't think they can rely on Kanate and Van Dijk. Van Dijk is what, 34-year-old? They can't rely on those two to play so many games. They need cover. So I feel like, yeah, defense wins your league. Last season there was, attack. They weren't really that good defensively. They were the best, but not as good as like the most like the best winning title winning team. So I feel like yeah, defensively is looking kind of shaky for them.
Yeah, I think they're a lot more solid last season. I think they had the best defensive record other than us. I think, but yeah, I don't know. I think they've been a lot more open, and I don't know whether that comes back to the fact that they don't really have like a traditional like CDM either. Um, I know they play with like Gravenberch deeper, but I think he's more in the team for what he can do on the ball. Like he can turn like and change like defense to attack. He's good on the ball, but I don't know if he's not like your typical like midfield destroyer, like your pivot. Do you know what I mean? That you normally have like a Caicedo, Rodri type, like even before when we had like a Rice or a part in there, it's like a slightly different role. And I know they've got Endo, but I think he's always only ever going to be a backup.
He doesn't get running, does he?
Yeah, yeah, exactly. So I don't think he's at the level either to warrant a running either. But yeah, I think
Now, I think I think what else you got to mention is a lot of the top players are out of form. You look at Salah,
yeah.
Isaac, Verts. Even I've heard Liverpool fans saying McAllister's not been playing that well.
Mm.
Connor Bradley, who's been playing in Trent's position, Trent used to supply so many goals. He's not been great. They've been having to rotate that right hand side so many times. You've seen Frimpong there, Szoboszlai. Like it's just the whole thing's just a bit of a mess, to be honest. So I'm not too sure where they go from there. I mean, if they lose, I think they got a Champions League game against like Eintracht Frankfurt midweek, and them guys score goals for fun. So bro, with the way their defense is moving, if they go to Germany, they don't get a win there. I think it's gonna start getting a bit hot for Arne Slot.
Hmm.
I think people are gonna start talking. I don't know. I think he's got enough in the bank
Yeah,
to say. Obviously, he's won the league, but bro, Liverpool, you can't go 5 games without a win. It's not good.
yeah. I think as well, like it's a good point about Trent. Obviously, I know like Frimpong and Connor Bradley, like they've struggled with that right back. I know Sobers has even played in there as well, so and they're struggling to fill that void that Trent left. And I think as well with Havertz come, no, not Havertz, sorry, Verts coming in. Like I'm guessing he would have probably helped with like some of the creativity that they're going to lose through Trent because I know he's a right back, but he did create a lot for them. So having like a more traditional like number 10 in there, I think would have helped them this season. But obviously, I think what is he saying? He's like 0010 now. It's like no goals, no assists in 10 games.
Well, you gotta think, yeah. Vert is a number 10, right? So if we're saying Gravenberch is not really a defensive minded midfielder. So you got a number 10. Usually if you're playing a attacker with the number 10, you would have a solid defensive midfielder.
Yeah, because no, it's not to say Gravenberch isn't like not like
He
a.
is
What I mean
defensive,
is like
but it's not as defense
he's
minded
playing that
as
six,
Holiday
like almost
Rice.
in that six. I know they have him and McAllister, don't they? But like obviously McAllister's not really like defensive, is he? You probably have McAllister in your team for what he can bring you going forward and
Yeah.
creatively, etc. Yeah, he works hard, McAllister, but he's not someone certain known for his like defensive ability. And I think again, like Gravenberch is in there. He's probably the most like technically got to be the most defensive out of all of them, but he's more of like it's almost like a pivot for them, isn't he? Like he takes the ball off the centre backs and like supplies the attackers. I don't think he's like someone who's known as like a quality like destroyer in that midfield. And I just think like they might need to address the balance side because I think they tried to do it by putting Sobers like in the 10 and dropping Verts. So
Mm.
like, they'd be a bit more solid because obviously Sobers like he can play 10, but he's quite comfortable in the 8 as well. So I think they tried to solidify it that way. But I don't know. I just think there's something off with that balance in midfield, especially when they play verts. I just think it's too offensive then. So I don't know
Mm.
whether they need like another. I'm not, even maybe even not even replacing Gravenberch. Just in some games, they might need more of like a midfield anchor in there. Yeah, I don't think it helps as well that Salah's not in form. Like you said, Isak as well has not really hit the ground running. I think the only one who's really in form going forward is probably Ekatike. Gakpo's done okay. But I don't think they have the options like last season. Like before, they could call on Diaz. They had Jota. They had no Nunez weren't great, but I suppose they're fine down the center with Isak and Ekatike. But I just think I don't know. I think they're struggling a little bit. But
They've made a lot of changes, and they've lost a lot of key players, like even Jota, you mentioned Diaz, Arnold, those are three key players, like big players. So when you lose them, like it's not gonna be like easy to just like recover from those key players, like leaving your team, especially when you just won the title.
yeah,
So and then bringing in new players, they need to adjust to the system as well. So I just feel like that's one of the main reasons.
yeah, like they spent 100 like 450 million or something. On paper, it looks like one of the best windows in like Prem history, really, in terms of they brought the Prem like the British transfer record twice. Visa converts, but like a lot of the signings haven't really hit the ground running. I think Frimpong's kind of been he's had a bit of an injury, but like he's not really started too well. Kirkez has kind of struggled a bit at left back, which I'm surprised about because obviously he's playing well at Bournemouth in the Prem. But he's looked a bit shaky defensively. Yeah, and then even then, like Verts, he's like they haven't hit the ground running. So really, it's only really Ikatike who's really had an impact. Out of some of the signings.
Frimpong got on the wing now, like
That's the
recently.
thing, yeah, but he used to do that for Leverkusen as well. Like he could play like I think because what they used to use wing backs, so he play right wing back, but then sometimes they'd put him further forward as like the right of the front three as well. So I think Frimpong, he's not someone who's known for his defensive ability. I think he's just one of those people that just bombs forward from right back and gets involved with the attacking player. So I don't know. I think Kirk is probably the same as well. He's great going forward. To be fair, I didn't realize, but he looks a bit defensively shaky. I thought, from watching him at Bournemouth, he seemed like he could do the defensive job as well. But I don't know. I think it may just be they're a bit out of form and they're probably trying to get used to a new system, a new team. But I think, yeah, I don't know. The recruitment, they're talented enough players where they all should come good. I think it may just be a bit of a slow start to them adapting.
Yeah.
But yeah, I think we've benefited as well. For I know we made 8 signings, but I think our first team's been kind of settled, if that makes sense. Because really, it's only really like Zubimendi and Gyökeres that have really come in, and you expect to like truly like start games. I know Eze's come in and he might start on the left, but with Erdegaard's injuries and stuff, he's moved into the 10. So I think we've brought in a lot of players, but a lot of our players are like squad players, as like backups and increasing our depth, so we have more options. I think the first 11s remains quite settled, so I think that's a bit of an advantage for us. But I think in terms of like the title race, I'm more worried about City than I am Liverpool.
Yeah, me too. Because City, they signed a lot of quality players, and they're not their squad is functioning, and those players that they've signed, I don't think they've clicked yet. A decent contribution, but I don't think they've clicked. And you know what City are like? They usually click after the like in the second half of the season, and
Yeah.
then Haaland firing, and even defensively as well. I think they've conceded 6 goals this season. So, they're looking good as well. So I'm more I would say yeah, I'm more worried about City than Liverpool.
Yeah, and I think Nico Riley's been a good find for them at left back as well. I think
Yeah.
he's good defensively, but he's providing assists going forward. So I know he put the cross in for one of Haaland's goals on the weekend. So I think, yeah, it's a good find because I know they lost to Kanji, and Gvardio's kind of moved more towards like centre back this season. But yeah, I think City look quite good, and I think a lot of the signings they made, they weren't like as big as like the Isak and Vert signings, like big money signings, but like I think Shirky for 30 million is a snip for a talented player he is, and then Reinders as well, I think, has been a really good sign as well. I think he's shown flashes. There's a couple of games where he's played really, really well.
Donnarumma.
Yeah,
Yeah.
as well, another one. I think he only had a
It's
year left
fine.
deal, but again, he was a snip as well. What was he like 26 million or something? It's yeah,
That could even go down to one of the best signing of the window, Donnarumma.
yeah, for value, definitely. He's probably one of
Yeah.
the two as
Top,
well,
top.
didn't he? So
uh,
um, yeah, they've done some smart business, City. And then Haaland, the form he's in at the minute, like he could probably fire into a title challenge himself at the minute. He's scoring like 2 goals a game. So yeah, they're looking good, City. Because I didn't know, like, first couple of games season, they had 2 bad results. I didn't know whether they'd be similar to what they were last season, where they're probably just looking to, get in the top 4, finish third, fourth, or whatever. But yeah, I think City will definitely be up there this season. Do you think United now? Obviously, it's the first time Amarim's registered back-to-back wings. Do you reckon they're kind of coming back to some sort of respectability, or do you reckon it's a case of they've been inconsistent, so it wouldn't be surprised if they lost next week?
I don't know, man. It's I don't know. What do you guys? I don't know.
You remember, obviously, I don't want to draw similarity because I've been seeing a lot of this on the media with Arteta now and how he kicked on. You remember when Smith or he was against Chelsea, that big game that Arsenal we beat Chelsea, was it 3-0? Smith scored. And then from then we just kicked on after that bad spell that Arteta had. You just wonder, could this be it for Amorim?
Yeah, I don't know.
Because a big not against Liverpool away at Anfield, if there's anything that's gonna make him kick on, surely this is the moment for them.
Yeah, because if they can build on it, they can start building a bit of momentum, then you never know. They might turn it around. But equally, like if you look at the way they've been under Amarin, like I said, this is the first time they've had back-to-back wins. So it's kind of like they've been so inconsistent. Are they just going to revert to type next week? Because they've pulled out some good performances, but um, I don't know. I'm not sure. I think we'll have to see. But I think in my head, I don't know. I think they're equally as likely to go lose next week as they are to win. I still feel see that in my head.
And probably would against I think they've got Brighton next, haven't they?
They're a bit of a tricky one. I know they beat Newcastle,
Yeah.
didn't they? So
To
yeah,
be fair, that game it wasn't like there wasn't really good United. It's just counter attack, and when they beat the big teams, that's usually how they normally win anyway. So I don't really see them kicking on from this. I actually hope they do because I don't want you don't United are a big team. You don't want to see them in 15th in the league.
They have to be 15th, bro.
Yeah.
They have to be 15th, bro. They have to stay down there, bro.
Yeah, I know what you mean, but they're a big club, but it's the Premier League. We're like,
No, but
was
like,
it
part of me is
big?
like, what if United say like, I don't know, they do okay at the end of the season under Amram, right? They do some respectable bits. Like they go from like 15th, they finish like, I don't know, let's say they finish like seventh, eighth in the league or whatever. It's a marked improvement last season. Like in a weird kind of way, I almost want to keep Amarim in the job if they're going to be like mediocre. If they finish like seventh, eighth, I'm not bothered about United finishing there. Do you know what I mean? Like, I'd rather keep him in the job because if he finishes seventh and eighth, they'll probably keep him.
They
Um,
will, yeah, they will keep
I
him.
think Jim Ratcliffe was saying something about like he wants to give him 3 years or something like that.
Oh, yeah.
This is before they've had these like this good result and the result before the international break. So I don't know. I think they're clearly going to back him. You've got some faith in him. We'll see. I think obviously he does need time, but I was just saying I think he hadn't really shown much that he deserved more time, if you know what I mean. Because he had like obviously half the season last year, and then he had he's had a full preseason. It doesn't look like he's improved too much. So um, I know it's an interesting one. But talking to managers, I thought we talk about Forest obviously. Looks like they're going to confirm Sean Dyche as their new coach, Ginger Mourinho. Do you reckon he's the right man for the job? Because I kind of feel like Sean Dyche is someone you bring in if you're trying to survive and like beat relegation. I feel like when he got appointed to like Everton, it kind of made sense to keep them up. But I don't know. I think Forest just come back off getting Europe and like technically just missing out on the Champions League last year under Nuno. I think they were building something. Whereas I feel like I don't know, like Dyche's football tends to be a bit limited. So I don't know. What do you think? Do you think he's the right man to take him forward?
I think they had to make a quick decision because obviously he wasn't working with Ant, and I think it was actually a good decision to get rid of him. So you got to think this is the Premier League. Fall behind too much, you could go, and then off the back of what they did last season as well. So it was a serious threat. I feel like for now, this season alone, I feel like yeah, that's probably a good appointment because you know what Dyche is will get them secured at the back. Will get them playing in a way where they're not conceding goals. So in that aspect, if he gets them safe and avoids relegation, I think yeah, that's a good appointment. But I don't think if you now say you're going to keep him for next season, then no, because that's not what the ambition of the club is.
Yeah, because I think I was hearing about it, they wanted to appoint Marco Silva from Fulham, which I think actually would have been a good appointment for them. But because they've sacked obviously Nuno, and now they've sacked Ange, they've had to pay compensation to both them and all their staff. So with PSR, they can't afford to actually like pay compensation to Fulham to bring him in. They've had to bring in a manager that wasn't at a club, so they don't have to pay that compensation fee. Um, so yeah, I think it's yeah, in the short term I kind of agree. I think he'll get them like more defensively solid because they were leaking goals under Rangers like two, three every week. So if you get some solid keeps them up this season, then maybe they can look to a more long-term appointment. Because I don't know, I think with Dyche, I don't know if he's the type of guy that he'll keep them up, but I'm not sure. Like you said, like he's long term, he'll be able to get them like back up to where they were under Nuno. So
Yeah, the thing is, under that Marinakis guy, like I think he has high expectations, especially based off what they did last season. So it's like that is obviously like what you guys said. He will steady the ship in it because they were conceding too many goals. But like I think in Marinakis' head, he's probably going to be thinking like you've probably got to get Europe this season at least.
yeah,
Like I'm not gonna lie to you guys. I think he'll be thinking like I've spent all this money in the summer. The players are there. We know we're near the start of the season. Like, come on, let's go. Like, let's at least get into the Conference League at a minimum. I don't know where they are in the league right now, but like I feel like if Dice was to finish probably lower half of the table, like, but let's say the second half of the table this season, I think probably the hierarchy will probably see that as like a poor season. So I don't know. I think Dicey is a good appointment because he will stop them conceding goals, and they've got enough quality up top with like let's say Callum Hudson-Odoi. They've got who else have they got?
Got Dan and Doyle as well. I think they signed to
Yeah,
replace.
yeah, yeah. He's got Gibbs White. You know what I mean? They've got players that can score goals, but
Chris Woods.
yeah, I don't know, man.
It's fair. Even that Igor Jesus who they brought in, he was like starting for the Brazil national team. To be fair, he was banging in goals in Brazil. I think he's only like 24 or something. Obviously ain't started. So I think yeah, they've got options. Look at their midfield as well. It's fair. They've got Gibbs White, Douglas Luiz, and Elliot Anderson. And Elliot Anderson's been starting for England, so like they've got
Yeah,
quality there. Obviously, they've got Mario at the back. Sells has been a solid keeper. Ole Einer's done all right for them. I think that they've got quality there. So um, obviously got Milenkovic as well. I don't think they're too bad. Um,
yeah. They got a good squad.
Get why Marinakis has like high expectations. Obviously, I think they're what 15th in the league now. I think it's a lot to. Oh, not 15th. Sorry, I think they're just above the relegation. They're not, aren't they? Sorry. They've only got 5 points so far this season. So um,
Not good enough.
yeah, it'd be a lot to ask to get Europe, but I think if you can steady the ship, I know they finished like 10th, 12th mid-table. I think it'll be an alright job considering where they've come from.
Just a similar style to what's his name? I can't remember his name. And Nuno. Do you know what I mean? Just like sit back and like wait for your opportunities.
I
I think
think Nuno was a better coach tactically going forward, though.
yeah, yeah, of course, but yeah, I mean you can't really get another. I don't think there's another Nuno available in the market right now that's not got a job.
I was just shocked when they sacked him. To be fair, I think he kind of looked to get sacked. I think when he kept repeating those comments to the press.
You sacked
Yeah,
him.
it was.
Well, it's a strange one because I think yeah he was doing a good job. He's building something there.
He didn't like him and Edu fell out, didn't they?
Yeah, apparently he used to have quite a good relationship with the owner, Nuno did. But when Edu came in, Edu kind of acted as like a middleman between them. I don't think Nuno liked that working relationship. So I think he's kind of done with it. Um, I think he kind of preferred being obviously like in direct contact with the owner. So yeah, I think that's where the relationship broke down between them. He looked to move on. But we'll see how he does. He obviously landed the job at West Ham, which I think was a good appointment for them. But obviously they're struggling as well, so see if you can get them out of that hole. Yeah, but on that, I'll end today's show. Please like, subscribe, and comment, and I'll catch you again next week.